Hi, you're stepping into STEM with me, Profesora Diana Gonzalez. So, how do we go from a polynomial in the form ax squared plus bx plus c to its factored form? Let's talk about it. There are many approaches to factoring polynomials. In this video, we're going to discuss using the x method. And to do that, we're going to using the x method to rewrite this middle term, this 5x. We want to expand it so that we get a polynomial using 4 terms, or consisting of 4 terms, and then we'll be able to factor by grouping. To use the x method, we need to identify what our coefficients are. In this position, we'll have AC. In this position, we'll have B. And again, that goal is to rewrite this middle term. We do that by finding 2 values that multiply to AC and add up to B. So in our polynomial, A is equal to 2, B is equal to 5, and C is equal to negative 12. We want to make sure we bring in that sign. A times C is negative 24, B is 5. So now we're going to find those 2 numbers that again multiply to negative 24 and add up to 5. In my preference, what I find milks my cow is starting with these factors, the factors of negative 24, because then I just have to worry about adding or subtracting, and that's easier for me. Now, an observation I want to make is there is this negative here, that negative 24. So that means that if we want to get a negative from 2 factors being multiplied together, one of the factors has to be negative. Now, I'm going to write them out as positives. And when we explore their combinations, we'll throw in that negative. So here we have all the factors of 24. I can kind of start to eliminate some, like 1 and 24. We're not going to get to 5. 2 and 12, not going to get to 5. So I'm going to start off here with this 3 and 8, and if that doesn't work, we'll go on to 4 and 6. Now, I mentioned that one of them is going to have to be negative. So I'm going to rewrite the 3 and the 8 twice, and just change where we put that negative so that both the 8 and the 3 get to be negative. Once we combine like terms, we see that when the 3 is negative and the 8 is positive, we get our B. So those are going to be the values that we use to rewrite our polynomial. Now, you may be wondering, does order matter? No, it does not. I want to put the negative here, though, because I do want to show you something that you might encounter later on. So,
what was the reason? What was the reason?
That's the reason. Okay, channeling Cardi B. So now that we have found our 2 constants, we get to rewrite that polynomial. We have 2x squared, and we have that negative 12. Remember, we're rewriting the b, the 5x, with the 2 values that we got from the x method. So that's a positive 8x minus 3x. Now, before we go on, I like to have a little sanity check here. We want to make sure that we haven't changed anything. We're still working with the same polynomial. So we have a 2x squared. Here we have a 5x. Here we have 8x minus 3. That is 5x. And a negative 12. So we're ready to move on. Okay, now for the part I mentioned earlier, we have a negative here. What we're going to do when we have 4 terms is factor by grouping. And we do that by separating out the polynomial into two sets of 2 terms. This negative, though, can sometimes throw us off, so I always like to make that middle sign positive, hashtag stay positive, and attach the sign to the term. That way it doesn't throw us off later. From here, I'm now ready to factor. I look at the first 2 terms, and I try to find a common factor there. I see both the 2 and the 8 share a factor of 2. The x squared and the x both share a factor of x. So I'm going to factor out a 2x. Then to find what's left over, you can divide. 2x squared divided by 2x is x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. X divided by x is 1. So we get 2x plus 4. Now we made this sign positive, so I'm going to keep it positive. And then we get to factor out the common factor in these 2 terms. They both share a negative. They both share a 3. What's left over is x plus 4. We're almost done. Now at this point, we have 2 terms. And I see that we share the common factor of x plus 4. So I'm going to factor out that x plus 4. Now what we have left over is that 2x minus 3. Well, we've now gone a full full circle. So if you want to come talk about this some more, please visit us at the Math Success Center.